G'day guys and welcome to Primal Waters. Today we're going to have a look at some locations around Australia of reports and stories of large great white shark sightings that have taken place. Now when I talk about large, I'm talking about the guides that are between 7 to 10 metres in length. Now these reports date back nearly 100 years, and today we're going to have a look at 4 of those. There's a few more dotted around Australia, which I'll talk about in another video, and then I'll have a look at other locations around the world as well. But it seems Australia has a lot of stories of fishermen encountering these sharks. I'm not sure why. It might be due to the isolation of Australia and how big our waters and coastline is. But the southern parts of Australia, there's some really scary stories of sharks that are really, really big. So we're going to take a look at 4 of these stories. And the first one is whaler stories. Now this is back in the mid-70s. Whalers from Albany would tell stories of their encounters with massive great white sharks. And 2 of those stories take place as this. I'll find this page. Giant sharks were also spotted by whalers during their risky ventures into the domain of the sperm whale. He looked down and saw what appeared to be another whale swimming up under the dead sperm whale. As it came closer, he realised that it was a white pointer about 8.5 metres in length. Another story is, I returned to a whale carcass that had been forced to leave at White Crossing the night before. The crew spotted a flurry of white water near the whale, and on closer inspection found about 30 blue and white pointers sharks ferociously attacking the carcass. 6 of these sharks were about at least 9 metres in length. Now, the crewmen came to the conclusion how big these sharks were by the size of the sperm whale itself. The shark was about the same size as the sperm whale, so very scary. There was another chap by the name of Colin Austell. He was employed by the Department of Fisheries, and over the 7-year period, he would measure the bite marks off of these deceased whales, and some of these measurements would indicate that the sharks were around about 8 to 9 metres in length. So that was the mid-70s. Now, Western Australia, these waters are home to the great white. Like, if you're going to find a big shark, these are the waters you're going to find them in. A lot of the other parts of the southern part of Australia are really isolated. Not a lot of people live, so they could be out there. Now we look at another story called Shark Alpha. Most of you guys would have heard about Shark Alpha. That was a shark that was tagged back in 2003. About a 4-month period, she was tracked, and then she disappeared. Around about February, her tracking device, it was in January, her tracking device was found washed ashore, damaged, acid damage on the device itself. And when the scientists downloaded the information, it indicated that it was a period where the shark seemed to be chased. It descended to about 580 metres, and then that's when things really got interesting. The temperature from the tag changed from 46 degrees Fahrenheit to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature remained at 78 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 days before it was dislodged and washed ashore. So the indication by the device is that something ate Shark Alpha, something very large. So to this day, there's still a lot of theories that what could have done that to Shark Alpha. The most obvious one is that it's another large grey white shark that ate Shark Alpha. And you just have to look at the stories that I've just told about whalers in the mid-70s of their encounters and eyewitness accounts of big white sharks in these waters as well, which is quite interesting. So Then we move over to South Australia, and this one here I'm going to call Shark Bravo. Bravo was a shark that was found early this year in March. It was quite interesting. Abalone diver near Flinders Island was diving for abalone at Barge Reef, and where he came across the shark at the bottom of the water there. The shark itself was missing the whole rear section from the dorsal fin. It was a 12 to 13 foot shark, and something big came along and took a bite out of that shark as well. So you just have a look at the distances there. I actually Shark Alpha, Shark Bravo. The actual distance between these areas is roughly around about. I think I had it written down here. Bremer Canyon to Flinders Island is about 841 miles. So, like I said, this whole area here is an area of big sharks. And if you're going to find a big shark, this is where you're going to find it. We'll move on to the 7-meter shark that was spotted in, I think it was 2009. So, Life Saving Australia says a huge shark, 7-meter great white shark, was seen about 200 meters offshore at Merino Rocks. It's the biggest I've ever seen as a crew member in the Westpac chopper. We put it down to 7 meters. The photo really does not do it justice. So this is the actual photo here from the crew. Now they got the measurements for this one by comparing it to one of their life-saving boats. And like you said, the photo itself doesn't give it justice on how big this shark was. A lot of people have downplayed this, saying, "Oh, how could they estimate the size of the shark?" Now these guys are experienced crew. Their job is to spot sharks, and I tend to believe them on the size of the shark as well. So I think this is 2009, but it might have been even early. 2004, I reckon. So, but I do have videos of these stories that have taken place, of these 4. And today I just really wanted to show you the location, especially these waters here. There's a few other stories I can talk about in another video, but Western Australia to South Australia, this part here is called the Great Australian Bight. This location, the coastline along here is very, very isolated. Not too many towns on here. So a lot of surfers surf out here as well. And there's been a lot of shark incidents that have taken place in these areas over the years as well. But I reckon if you're going to find a big shark, it's going to be these waters. And we've seen documentaries done, especially with Shark Alpha, where they've looked for the mega sharks. But the issue is with that, these guys are set with a budget, so they've only got a few days of filming, and it's like a needle in a haystack. The chances of you actually coming across one of these animals is probably really, really rare. To do this, you need a lot of money, a lot of time to actually stake out these waters to find these creatures. I believe they're out there. I think these big sharks are out there. I think they're probably smaller numbers, and I think it's probably a rare occasion where you might actually come up and actually see one of these sharks out there somewhere. So they're there, guys. Hopefully one day we'll actually get some proper video footage. But the closest thing we can come to at the moment is actually this picture here at the moment of a 7-meter one that was spotted a few years back as well. So that's probably the only best evidence we've got about these big sharks. And I know a lot of people out there say, "No, these don't exist." Come on, guys. The ocean is a very big place. And like I said, just this area here alone, no one knows what's out there. We've got stories, we've got sharks that disappear, we've got sharks turning up, bitten in half. There you go. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2 later on. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, share this video. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch you later.